35192. Want to shoot me a text. Gab Cruz is sitting in today for a bit. And then who knows what'll happen. Off into the sunset. Cavs don't start up again until tomorrow night. That is going to be a 7 o'clock tip. Games 3 and 4 are down in Orlando at the Kia Center. Cavs, of course, up 2-0 in that series. Guardians get another win last night here at home against the Red Sox. It was a rainy game. I thought for sure they were going to call it, but they didn't. And I don't know if it took them an extra long time to play it. Were there rain delays during that game? I didn't really keep my.
I saw really. I think maybe like here and there, but I don't. I think they just played through it all.
Did you bring the dog
to work?
Bark in the park?
Oh no, not.
When was that?
My dog is not good with other dogs.
I think it was yesterday. Tuesday.
Oh really?
Bark
in the park.
Bark in the park. You could bring your dog
to the game.
Yeah.
Really?
I think it might have been a pregame thing.
Is that why downtown smelled like wet dog?
No,
from like 5 to 6. What's that?
Don't white people smell like wet dogs anyway?
Well, I mean, wet dogs really smell like wet dogs. But Bart, did they get a good turnout for that?
That would be something if the Yankees came in town and it was Bark in the Park and we were just flinging dog poop at
Yankees players.
outfield.
I mean,
dog
poop. I wouldn't give anyone any ideas. We would never do that. Our
No.
Right. I was just going to say that.
That would be something in another place.
Yeah. So Guardians over the Red Sox 4-1 was the final yesterday. They will play them again tonight, and then the end of that series tomorrow afternoon, 6:10 tonight. We'll dip a couple minutes early. Red Sox, Guardians, not Bark in the Park tonight. But isn't there a lot of cleanup for that? I mean, that's one of those things that boy looks great on paper, and they're like, oh, people are really going to enjoy this. Bring your dog to the ballpark.
Yeah, I know a lot of minor league teams do it. I'd be interested to hear, since I didn't work last night, I'd be interested to hear how that cleanup went and everything, because it's a great concept. People love their dogs.
People do love their dogs, and minor league teams need to get people's attention in any way they possibly can, right? Guardians are, of course, the best team in Major League Baseball, so they don't have to worry about it. But my White Sox, I was reading this morning, I was reading the Chicago Tribune online, and they were talking about how the White Sox are a historically bad team. They're not just bad. Right now, they're the worst team in baseball. They've only, I think, won 3 games. And that they are an historically bad baseball team. Like they're breaking records that have held for 30 years, these guys. And they've got the worst 21-game start in team history. So people here, embrace your Cleveland Guardians. You know, I'm sure there's still a few holdouts who are still rumbling and mumbling and grumbling about the name change. But boy, all's forgiven when those guys are killing it out there. And they really are. So maybe pour one out for us White Sox fans. Fortunately, speaking of which, we have the 9th most expensive beer in Major League Baseball. So that's great, too. Attendance is down. Beer prices are up. It'll cost you a lot to get wrecked at a home game. And that's really what everybody wants, right? Today was the first game in American League history, 1901.
I did know that. My dad told me that.
Uh-huh. It was between the Cleveland Blues and the Chicago White Stockings. And what happened to them? So Cleveland and Chicago playing the very first AL game today. Now, does your dad call you and tell you this? Does he, how does your dad tell you this? Why does your dad tell you this? It really is a dad fact. And that's why I threw it out there.
It is such a dad fact. He called me and said, do you know what today is? Obviously, my birthday. I was like, Kelly Clarkson's birthday.
Kelly Clarkson.
And then he laid that fact on me. And I got to be honest, I was distracted when he told me. But he was like, check out all the Innuendos. First game. They were called the Blues. I have a dog named Blues.
Okay.
And Cleveland baseball.
Okay.
And your birthday.
Yeah.
It's like, that's awesome.
Uh-huh.
Wait.
What did he mean by innuendos?
Yeah.
What did he mean by that?
Just.
You mean coincidences?
Yes, coincidences.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I thought your dad was getting weird on a phone call with you.
What do you know? What's the word I'm looking for? You know what I mean?
Just like the random tie-ins, or
random tie-ins. We need a better one. Tie-ins is, I guess, tie-ins.
I mean, coincidences.
Coincidence is
fine. All of the.
And Mary would call it fate.
Yes.
Kismet.
Yeah. Look at all the coincidences. That's good.
Was that John Cusack movie?
with where Kate Beckinsale, Serendipity?
Yeah.
How serendipitous.
Yeah, there you
good
go.
work.
Yeah, but that kind of implies luck, right? Isn't there a luck element to serendipity? Like we're talking about
People have
coincidences.
corrected me on using serendipitous wrong. I don't think up until I
Well,
don't.
you definitely were using
I still don't
innuendo
think
wrong.
Who are these people that corrected you on serendipity?
I forget. Somebody in the office once corrected me. I thought serendipitous, really did mean like all the stars aligned for.
Well, it's like a
something.
happy accident. I mean, serendipity, right?
So it must, but maybe the way I was using it didn't imply the accident
Okay.
part of it.
Maybe you were trying to keep everybody safe. You didn't
Yeah.
want there to be an accident involved. Yeah.
Serendipity. It's the coolest word ever.
Somebody threw out neophytes serendipity one time, and which just is a fancy way of saying beginner's luck. But I was like, why don't you just say beginner's luck? And then I realized I was talking to a mirror. So, yeah, John Cusack, Kate Beckinsale, right? For people who want...
It's funny. I've never even seen that movie. I just know the title.
Yeah, serendipity. If you want a long lost, we're talking 2000, 2001, you want a long lost, just random, undervalued rom-com, it's one of those. You know, by the way, that it's an old movie because John Cusack was still getting cast in romantic roles, right? He was coming off High Fidelity. He was still like the guy for a minute. And he doesn't do that anymore. Now he's like a grizzled old hitman who's out in the... John Cusack is kind of relegated to a lot of like, like you only see them on Tubi or you'll see his movies on Roku or something like that, which is fine too. People got to work. I got money for you. I buried the lead. 30 past every hour. I got this money courtesy of the Buzzard bookie. It's a chance for you to grab $1,000. You're going to get 4 of these this afternoon here, but you get about 13 every day. So don't miss them, and I hope you win the money. Good luck.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Check. That's check. Enter it now at WMMS.com.
There is a place, we've talked about this, our own Mary Santora has a shellfish allergy. You have allergies? You know, I got you those cupcakes, but as I'm walking out with them, I was like, oh, God, I don't know if she's allergic to gluten or coconut or...
No.
One of them is just plain vanilla.
I love the red velvet. These are beautiful.
One of them is the red velvet one might be like an Oreo something.
I see that.
Red velvet Oreo.
Do you know what this one is?
One of them is that is a chocolate toasted coconut.
Wow.
Ooh, that sounds real good.
And then I got what's the fourth one? I got
this pink one.
Oh yeah, that's just a strawberry cream.
Nice.
So I don't know what you like. I
Gotta be.
thought it'd be nice to.
Was that innuendo?
Wow.
That was, but I was like, oh God, I don't know if she's allergic to anything, right? I don't know if she's allergic to coconut. Maybe I don't know.
That's our next viral clip. We got the foot one, and then me just like blows up.
Yeah, just
in an
breaking out in
Getting
hives
allergies.
from the happy birthday cupcakes. Yeah.
By the way, I like your haircut.
Oh, thanks.
That was
yeah.
a quick turnaround. What was the inspiration?
Well, I'm hosting a thing at Playhouse Square tomorrow night.
Okay.
And I didn't want to look homeless.
Sure.
And so I was like, let's just cut it. Who cares, right? It'll grow.
You looked on the high end of homeless though before.
The high end of homeless?
You definitely looked like.
Well, I got to finally have a title for my autobiography.
high end of homeless.
Fantastic. Yeah. I mean, if I want to
serendipitous.
grow it out, yeah, again, I will. There's a place in Ohio City. I got into this allergy thing because we've talked about eating bugs and how that is for better or worse in a world ravaged by a changing climate and with the scarcity of food as it's produced now over the next few decades, century, whatever that is, that more and more places are incorporating insects into their food. And if you've ever had them,
You've been banging this drum for a while.
well, I have. I mean, listen, back when we were all kids, no matter how old you were, you could get like, chocolate-covered bugs or whatever, and it was kind of a novelty thing. But there are more and more places that are incorporating these. And there is a restaurant in Ohio City, my old stomping grounds. We lived there for many years. And they are serving fried mango habanero grasshoppers.
I think I'd do it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because if you're not really going to know what you're eating. I mean, you're going to know, but if you put enough stuff on it and fry it and marinate it, who cares, man? This is what I'm saying. We got to get our heads around this. because this is the way it's going. So why not?
What's the weirdest textured thing that you've eaten?
Grilled cheese.
Really?
He's the worst.
I really
He's
thought
the
about
worst.
I don't like a lot of foods that a lot of other people like, and that's fine. I don't think it makes me strange.
Is
Other
it the
people think
cheese? Okay.
I don't.
But you eat pizza, and it's a very similar texture.
And unbelievably, I like cold pizza.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every time I eat a piece of cold pizza,
That makes sense to me. The texture is different than the gooey cheese.
right? But I don't like cold, greasy stuff. You know, every time I have a piece of cold pizza, I go, God, this is so good, and I should not like this at all. You know, no, the weirdest thing I've ever eaten.
Yeah, like from a texture standpoint, or
Well, I've eaten, bug dishes and things
You
like that.
have.
Yeah.
and still grilled
Squirrel
cheese is the
stew
weird-
and snake. That's not even, but these kinds of things, I don't know what constitutes weird anymore because,
Hang on, we can't just gloss over this. Are you saying grilled cheese is harder for you to eat than bugs?
well, I mean.
Yes, he's saying that. He's saying that. He means it. He needs to be studied, like Leslie was saying yesterday. One of our
don't.
customers called in and said she needs to study Alan in a jar.
I think her words were she wanted to put me in a jar and study me.
Oh man.
Well, only because I don't.
Well,
there
you
are
put the insects in a jar first. And
Yeah.
You guys can be right next to each other.
Right, yeah.
There are fundamental ingredients in a lot of very popular foods that I'm not necessarily down with. I don't like butters and gravies and creams and things like that. So,
Okay.
and that's fine. Other people can enjoy. I think of it as that's more for you.
Yeah.
I'm not using it. That's more grilled cheese for
Okay.
you.
I
More,
would say the worst, like oysters, are a texture that I'm
So,
not a fan
I
of.
was just about to
Because it's one of those things where they're like, you just let it slide down your throat. I'm like,
don't like the
in that
sliminess of it?
case, I'd rather just not. Like, I don't want something that like you don't chew it. You just it's just a booger going down your throat.
No, it's more than that. As an
Yeah.
oyster connoisseur, I love these things.
Oh,
and
really? I thought you were going to be on my side.
No, I actually hate when people I think it's a waste. I go to
I like 'em.
Boston and I like to pay good money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
You chase it with a beer
when
or a
I watch
Coke, or what do you
people just
do?
slide it down and I don't like that. I'm like, no.
What do you do?
I like to chew it. I like
you
to
chew 'em.
Chew 'em.
I do.
Yeah.
See,
And if that makes me a
I thought-
psychopath, then be it.
I thought that was
because
the thing you were
hate it.
supposed to do was like let it slide down.
But
I didn't
I
know
don't
you
get
were
why
supposed to.
people do that. It's
I don't
so
know. I don't
weird.
want to chew it either. I don't
you
like
could
it.
literally
Yeah.
just take something else to do it.
Right.
I don't know. It's a
And then
weird-
like people do you put Tabasco sauce on it?
I like
Or
a
not
little
really?
Horseradish.
A little
type-
horseradish,
type,
okay.
Concoction.
Yeah.
But
Maybe you
even
just like
still, even just a
horseradish.
little lemon,
Yeah.
I think it's good.
Yeah.
Oysters are one of those things where I wouldn't order, but if somebody's like, "Do you want an oyster?" I'd say, "Yeah, of course, absolutely." Chase it with a beer or something. That's pretty tasty. At least that's how I was taught to do it.
Yeah.
A
well,
long time ago. But I've never heard anyone refer to themselves as a connoisseur.
I love them.
Yeah.
I think that I could honestly eat them all day.
Oysters all day.
Yeah.
You know what they
Now-
say about oysters too.
But this is going to be an innuendo.
I do know.
That was gonna be direct. They're an aphrodisiac, right?
Supposedly.
I get crazy.
I was going to ask, is this why you eat them so is it frequently that you eat them, or you said if you could eat them every day you would, but obviously you're not.
Yeah, no, I don't eat them every day. Well, it's tough because I just love seafood in general.
Mhm.
I think oysters is up there with lobster for me. And
See, I love most seafood, but oysters are just one that has never. And maybe I should chew them. Maybe I'll chew them,
try
and
a
that'll
chewed one.
that'll
Or, I mean,
try chew. I'm not gonna have somebody else chew it. I'm not gonna try a chewed one. I'll try chewing one myself.
yeah, you should try.
He is a food taster to make sure that
Yeah.
nobody's messing around with his
Mhm.
dishes. Like I don't care for scallops. They don't taste like anything.
Really?
Now my wife loves them, but they
I
don't.
like a
They don't
scallop.
taste like anything to me.
I
so
did
don't
once
care,
make the mistake of having, because I love scallops so much, I went and had sushi in California and I ordered a ton and I ordered scallop as a sushi, like raw.
Oh,
Okay.
Not fun.
No,
Almost
I don't know if
vomited.
I would like that.
It was too weird. It didn't taste right and it was bad. And I know it was the best of the best because it was in California. It was
Yeah.
supposedly supposed to be good. And
Now, with oysters widely known, like Bill said, as an aphrodisiac, when you have them, do you have to pick a day where you're okay feeling horny? Like, you can't just willy-nilly have oysters. You've got to be like, okay, today's a day. I don't have anything else going on. It's okay if these make me horny.
I don't know if it has that impact on me, or maybe I'm just a perpetually 24/7 horny person. I don't know.
That's what it is?
I think I'm healthy, functioning, but I wouldn't say that I've eaten enough. I haven't reached the threshold.
They have the opposite effect on you. You're like, I just need to take a nap. I don't care.
I just don't know that
Maybe when you chew them, they don't make you horny.
Glaringly noticed that, you know.
I think it also is completely made up.
It's an old wives' tale, sure.
It's gotta be, because think about it. I don't know.
Well, because
you can eat like 10 of them really quick.
But also, you know, depending on where you are in the world, they're like, oh, chocolate's an aphrodisiac, and certain herbs, and eat almonds.
Or a white rhino's horn.
Yeah. I think Big Oyster and Big Almond. I think the Blue Diamond people were out there foisting the almond aphrodisiac thing. You tell anybody that anything, I mean, you know, we're joking, but also not. The white rhino horn, I mean, you know, they're killing entire species because they're like, oh, we got to make these into boner pills, you know, around the world because they've told people that that's what these things do.
Now, this is educational for me. I didn't know that's why they were harvesting them.
Well, for a variety of things, but, you know, if they're like,
supposedly that's one of them.
Yeah, it's one of them, yeah. I mean, it's obviously very, very valuable otherwise, but they're like, ooh, this has got rhino horn in it, and they go, ooh, that sounds good.
That horny goat weed.
Yeah, horny goat weed, yeah. But oysters, okay. Well, yeah, I don't know.
What was it for you, Bill? What was the weirdest textured item you ate?
I mean, I've just eaten some weird items because I lived in the Philippines, so I ate like dog. Balut was really weird.
Balut?
Because it is a partially formed chicken. So it's like a fertilized chicken egg. Okay. They let it go like 20 days, and so you're biting into it, and it's bones, but they're soft. So that would probably be the weirdest for sure.
Oh.
Because it's like almost like an egg. It's almost like a chicken.
Yeah.
But it's neither.
Oh, God, I saw them prepare that on some, like, travel cooking thing a while ago. And I was like, oh, my God.
That's like one of those things where
super popular.
They would, if you were a white person eating that in the Philippines, they're, like, waiting for you to freak out. And I just, like, popped it in and ate it. And they're like, oh, Filipino child. Like,
you got initiated.
Yeah, they're like, oh, they're like, you're one of us. We love you. And I was like, yeah.
See, this person texting me says that they despise cheese. And they would rather eat bugs than any kind of cheese. So that's, you know, there's just all kinds of different things, you know.
Cheese is so good.
Cheese is good.
But I think, you know, they always say you eat with your eyes. So texture really comes down to what it looks like. So I've eaten things that are probably very similar to that balut, but it's just seeing the little feathers on it and everything. Like that's part of it that like you're not even tasting them. You're not even really feeling them.
Right.
But you know they're there.
That's why I would have to not know what something is. I think I could comfortably stomach anything crazy.
Yeah.
Unless you told me what it was.
Right, and then it gets weird.
Yeah. One time I accidentally drank moldy water.
What is moldy water?
That's what happens when you just keep refilling the Brita pitcher.
I'll tell you a science experiment that I didn't realize I accidentally made.
Okay.
So I put a little lemon into my water canister I use for the gym.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not kidding. Like 3 days only passed.
Yeah.
Only like 3 days. But the lid or the top was on. And I woke up one morning and I was parched. Reached for in my gym bag, just grabbed that because I knew I had lemon water in it. Started chugging it. And then I was like, after the fact, I was like, that tasted weird. And to this day, I don't really know if it was seeing it after the fact or if it really did anything to me.
The green mold, the
but
fuzz
I saw
on the
it,
lemon.
and then I just started puking.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
so the lemon got nasty.
It had to be the lemon. It was because water sitting for 3 days couldn't have done all that.
No, I was going to say, that's why I laughed. I was
all
like,
the bacteria on the
water
lemon
sitting
and,
there.
Yeah, I imagine.
That was one way to start a morning.
Alan, that rhino horn thing is real. That's where the word horny originated. See, that sounds like an old wives' tale, too. That sounds a little too convenient.
I can see that where the word originated, but I don't know if it actually made people. I feel like, you know, if that were the case, they would be trying to replicate the ingredients in that and making that to sell as boner pills.
Now I feel bad. Instead of those cupcakes, we should have gotten Gab some balut.